And breaking right now at 6 on Jackson Street in East Atlanta, people against the Public Safety Training Center are making their voices heard as that facility officially opened today. This is about 17 minutes south of where the crowd is tonight. And today, emotions running high. The development is one of the city's most controversial issues. I'm Blair Miller.
And I'm Carly Barnett. Atlanta leaders said the center would be transformative, ushering in a new era of public safety. Atlanta News First senior reporter Patrick Quinn is outside of the training center. He has been tracking the drama for more than 2 years now, and it all culminated in today's ribbon cutting.
What a whirlwind. Certainly one of the most contentious and controversial issues I have ever covered. Just in the last couple of years, we've seen a protester killed. We've seen police units set on fire. We've seen dozens and dozens of rallies. Right now, there's an ongoing court case, a RICO case, tied to the movement against the building of the training center. There's a separate court case for an unsuccessful ballot referendum, which brings us to today, a day many people did not want. Others celebrated the official opening of the Public Safety Training Center.
1, 2, 3, cut!
The Atlanta Public Safety Training Center is open, a handshake between Governor Brian Kemp and a relieved Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens.
Getting here has not been an easy journey.
The opening of the $118 million complex for police, fire, and E911 personnel, which includes academic, leadership, and simulation centers, came after not months, but years of public pushback.
Stop Cop City! Shut it down!
Thousands voiced their outrage to the project, what critics called Cop City, both on the streets and within City Hall.
The demonstrations will continue because even if Cop City is built, we're going to try to tear it down.
Organized opposition and at times violence. In January 2023, Manuel Tehran, a protester, was shot and killed by Georgia State troopers after police said Tehran shot first. In response, during a rally in downtown Atlanta, activists set police cars on fire. In March of 2023, demonstrators shot fireworks at the training center site, and construction equipment was targeted multiple times during the building of the center. Dickens said the city would not be deterred in building the training center to better protect Atlanta.
The lies, the misinformation, the disinformation, the very real violence, but our perseverance to see it through for the people of Atlanta now and into the future cannot be denied.
Cop City!
After the opening, I called up Kamal Franklin, one of the main organizers against the project. Even after today's opening, he said their movement isn't over.
For them, this is a proud moment. I think for a lot of us who've been fighting against this is just a moment in which the battle will continue in other ways.
Franklin said their movement was not a failure, but a building block to further activism. Now here today, like you saw, was Governor Brian Kemp. He said this center represents a shared goal of protecting those in Atlanta while also supporting first responders. From the Public Safety Training Center in DeKalb County, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.